to 50-50. If this is the first quarter is negative, 50% positive, and 48% turn out negative. If the first quarter is negative.
Yeah, I figured you may have some
And
questions
I
after a while
think
we've been
that,
using it, so that's another
this
reason why I
is going to
wanted
rally back.
to connect.
It's
make
got a
sure,
long way to go. Because
you
here
know,
is
you
the
fully understand everything and
Here's what we
any
got to get
questions.
to. We got to get about 68, 45.
Excellent. So maybe this week's kind of rough time.
So
So
far,
maybe, I mean, next week's
I
fairly
have this
open.
on
So
the other
let me,
day.
send me an email. Just let me know, kind of what your schedule typically
This
looks
has
like.
been like almost an 8% pullback in here.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Barbara.
We have to get
Everybody
back
else.
above this 68,
All right,
45 half to have the
It
first
is
quarter be
Thursday, March
positive.
26th.
Otherwise, it's a
We're rolling
negative
right
first
along. It's going to be
quarter.
50 degrees here.
And then basically it's 50% of the years
Right.
ended up lower, 50%
Again, it was just not too
ended
long
up
ago. I
higher.
was digging out
If the first quarter's positive,
a foot and a half of snow.
it changes to 88%
And
of
that's
the
all
years
gone.
were
My lawn is all
positive,
prepped.
and
Right?
only
It's all
12% were negative.
dethatched
So this is
and
a big
aerated,
deal.
ready to go.
And
Hasn't started
I
growing
can't
yet.
reiterate that enough, but
All ready to
so
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for us
I
to
like
do.
doing-
But
I
to
like
get back
doing
up
yard
there,
work.
where basically, let's say
It's good, honest
66, we have 245 points
It
to go.
really is.
And
I don't have
we
a
only
huge
have today,
property.
tomorrow, Monday,
My other
Tuesday,
property
4
that I had,
days. Now
I had to have
that would be a
landscaping
pretty
work it. It's
miraculous
too big. This
move
one,
in 4
very
days,
well
but
manageable.
it could happen.
So
Here's a
myself, I like-
4-day
and I also
move
like to get out.
that,
It's nothing like
you
you're doing
know,
yard work,
almost
right? And you
did
stop and
that.
take a
Very
break,
close to it.
and I look out at Long Island Sound.
Hold the
I
phone.
mean,
If we got a
right,
4-day
it's not
move
too
like
bad,
that,
right?
To discuss finance
I mean,
related
but
overall,
something's gonna really have to
Yeah.
He
So,
eventually went on to emphasize
give
Yeah.
way for
mellow
that to
the
happen.
ocean air.
and
So
national sovereignty,
yes, I don't think
territorial
is
integrity.
All right.
Yes.
Anyways,
quite as
let's take
dire
a
straits.
gander at what we're
They
doing
don't
here
have,
today.
they
Thursday,
don't
March
have as much
26th.
slide ag.
26th.
Here's this 480 overnight,
Audio
60,
addition to the daily trade
65,
strategy. Be sure to read the daily trade
70,
strategy every day. There's a lot
75.
in there.
As long as
NFA
they're
compliance
trading
rule
above there,
2-29C
they can
subparagraph
trade
1.
back up to
Again,
the
you all know I
settlement
need to
price.
display this, right? And
There's
et cetera, et
not
cetera.
really much stopping them at purple level, but that's
Okay, today
that's-
is
that's
a new cycle
the
day.
daytime moves
cycle day
that
on deck.
often.
Right.
Anyway, other
I was
than
a
that,
little
everyone's
conservative
standard
overnight with
deviation.
my
If they go
targets,
below
but
65, 59, 77, they're going to go almost
price
2
price
down.
has
Let's see
come
this.
down. Here, as you can tell,
Yeah, and that would
price
be where
came
these
down,
old lows
retested
were
this
like a
low.
week ago. So
Pivot down here. This
if
was
they
the,
don't, if they
Trumpster
start losing this,
social media
they could easily
Sunday
go
night
down to here.
blowbacks, right?
Um,
And then, of course,
just
we've
seeking
had just basically
There's not really much
consolidation
to
the past
stop
couple
them from
days.
going back
Some,
up to here.
decent intraday
And you can
swings.
see that
right?
they got over this and then
to
fell
work
back,
with. So,
tested it, fell back.
Can't say we haven't had some opportunity.
If they get up there again,
That's
they may
fine,
take
you
it
know.
out. But this is the
we
number.
like
They
that,
had to get above
right?
67.
We don't want a
39,
range where it's just
88
like this,
to really turn it on.
right?
So that's
I
what
mean,
I'm
it's
looking
that's
at there.
almost untradeable. But we
see
do
the
have,
mass.
some good intra swings. These are 60-minute
But
bars. So,
yes,
each
it
look,
looks
we just want
promising,
movement. I don't care
I'd
where
give
it
it a little
goes. I don't
better
care what price it
odds
is.
than that.
I just
Those
want
are just the
movement.
basic gaps.
Right?
The NAS
This
is
overnight, what's today?
cash
26th?
chart.
No, Thursday, right? Wednesdays, no, Tuesday's low, right?
Where
Looks
is
like
this?
Tuesday's low.
And
So anyways, testing that. So 70, 65, 75. So that becomes obviously a marker,
this is
right?
just-
Of importance. So again, should it go down further? My suspicion would be, if it goes down and it wants to break the lower throughout the day, right? I mean, it's more likely going to try
Kind
to
of an off
come back down
for
all
the
the way
NGX.
at the G7
on that.
Where's the NGX?
Okay, but again, no predictions here.
So
We did overrun.
they
also
also
got
got
that
that
fourth
fourth low.
It's in one sense it's technically out of play
because
because they've been pushed down, but all right. Still keep in mind what you can look for here.
It's over 1,000.
And also, we have some
right
violation levels.
Could
This is the
happen.
dotted line, right? This is cycle 1.
Yeah,
Violation
right over
level.
here, they almost did it. Once
so then
again,
those
it's
have
like,
been fulfilled.
yes, they almost did
But what
it.
you can think
But
about here
it's-
is at this
figured
stage,
that's
because
some
these
big
levels
updates.
have
They
been
have 4 days to do it.
violated, right? So remember,
Closing level
violation
there
of some
is gonna be
violation means
negative.
down
It's
through,
absolutely gonna be a
right?
negative.
Penetration means up through.
So
So these have been violated. And then, so what would we want to see, what would be kind of the idea then here, right? If you're bullish, let's just say you're bullish, you typically like to play from the bullet, long time.
Yes,
We'd be looking for what? We're going to look for a reclaim, right? Any level that's been lost, right? So let's just take this level here. This level that's been lost, okay? It may be lost temporarily, but it's not forgotten. Okay, a couple things can happen, right? As potential scenarios. One, it could rally back, kind of retrace it and retest
here,
and then fail.
It's a thin cloud, but
right? That would be one scenario.
Let's see where we have.
Another scenario would be, come back up. Okay, in other words, reclaim it.
2, 3,
right?
4,
But then
6.
convert it. So we call that CNC, right? Clear and convert. It's the same as reclaim, right? And hold. I mean, whatever terminology you want, it doesn't matter. It's all the same.
This is
right? That would be kind of reclaim.
So
right?
Monday this will drop down a
RT
little bit,
retest
not
and fail.
much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Type of thing.
this.
All right. So again, call it what you want.
And if they
As long as you
can move up a little
understand
bit,
kind of
this will
to be
go up
looking
and
for.
it's
That's
not
all I
going to
care
be a
about.
bullish cross.
Ads.
All right.
Needs
So,
to be
bullish
bullish
so again,
cross.
and so we would be looking for, let's just call it, 95, 90, 95s. Okay, in that kind of block area. We would be looking for what? We're looking for a move back above, a reclaim, hold, perhaps.
So
Again, holding can take many forms.
Yes.
I simply do kind of these little triangle type action, but the market's much more complex than that. All right, it would be easy if we could just do simple, connecting highs and lows, and it's, right. But typically, it's not the case. There's a reclaim, a hold.
Unless they get a really hell of a rally,
some
it's going to be at least
further support if that were to occur. Taking a look at volume profile activity, right? So we're seeing kind of this action right here, kind of outlining
it's going to be about
volume
2
profile.
weeks
So
from
you can
today
see right in here.
before this cloud
zone.
turns up. And
This is also partly why I'm always talking about zones versus just a single line. It's easy to reference just a single line. But as everybody knows, you should know by now, everything is all about zonal stuff, right? And the market is, going to have to hang tight within various zones. So there's that upper zone. But if you bring this across action, so this is really this is our sandbox.
If they get a big rally,
right?
this 480
So
could
it's not just the
change
price,
in a
but
couple
where's the
days.
volume activity around that price?
240.
So this is the composite. So this is a composite, right, of multi-days, right? So this is a multi-day, several days that are involved in this, right? And again, most of this activity, perhaps, if we were going to kind of roll it over to this area, that's probably right in here, right? Because there really hasn't been a whole lot traded last night there through that level. So this area kind of is.
But we got to get a bullish cross.
Kind of represents
Bullish cross here.
representative of
240, 240.
Activity there. So
Yesterday.
That, right? This area right here. So this is kind of where we have it. So now what can we do? We can actually draw
these are the
kind of a borderline here between these two volume areas. And that's essentially 6 to 6.
I look at these time fractals.
Right.
1,440 is the minutes in a day. The next time frame
6,600?
I look at
Dynamic
is
line in the
480,
sand now, dynamic,
which is
not from overnight, but dynamic.
8 hours, and then the 240 and
Right.
120.
I had actually
60 main time frames. Let's say use
66.15.
120.
No, I'm sorry. I had 66.35
Uh,
as the line in the sand. All right, coming in the lower line in the sand. Actually, had two lines in the sand.
in order to
by the
really
way,
get going, it's going to have to rally
didn't
at
notice
least up
already.
to here.
From the
Over
overnight
the next few hours, let's see the 60
daily
that
trade
was
strategy.
that
One was at
closes
85s.
24,599.
No, I'm sorry. One was at 60s.
2,600.
55, 60s, and then the other one was at 35s.
24,
Two lines in the sand. Yeah. And why do I do two lines in the sand? Right. What am I using for dynamic? 6600s we're gonna map out as the line in the sand, dynamic line in the sand. 6600. Okay, just for the reason I'm just describing here about the volume clusters. Why do I use occasionally two lines in the sand? All right, because when the market is ranging, right, you know, I mean, I can always still kind of use a median point of a range. That's always acceptable to use a median point. But the idea for me in the line in the sand is I'm looking for that level to really respond and have some sort of a directional move. Okay, so let me just quickly, I know we only get about a minute or so, but if you take a look at the profile, okay,
60 is,
you know, I could use easily a median point here of the day, but the idea for me is, well, there's the value area actually, right? The 35s and 60s.
it's been
That's
choppy
actually
back
yesterday's
and
value
forth
area.
into here,
So to me, those are important markers, right? So what would the bulls need to really do? Need to get above yesterday's value, correct? How about the bears? They would need to go below yesterday's value.
Otherwise, it's kind of
Okay.
not looking so good. Yes, same story.
So again, I'm kind of looking for,
Okay, we got 1 minute to the opening.
and what we could have done as well. One last final
Yes,
thing.
it's
I could have either
45%,
combined
47% unlikely to fill right now.
the value area. So that was I was considering 15s, right? And up
Those
here
are
is
trading above this 578.
So that'd be another way past 3 days.
I think it's probably a little better probability that they fill than
So
not.
there's a number of different,
Trump's
or of course I
talking
could use the median
tonight,
point.
the market may
Okay.
not move much.
So there's a number of different ways you can
Here we
approach it.
go.
But we can discuss that topic, by the way, for ways of determining, you know, so each of you know not just how I do it, what I look for, but maybe so that, you know, you can begin perhaps to do it on your own. Kind of sets something up on your own. May be useful at some point for you. Again, be sure to send me you know, some topics that you'd want me, you know, you'd want a workshop to discuss things. Okay. Send me emails. I like correspondence. I had also marked off, it was interesting, I just taken a look at this, I had also marked off
Callus as we're worried
this,
about Ukraine.
you can see
The
this green
impression it's
zone in
ceding
here.
territory
That
in
was some
negotiations with
time
Russia.
ago, I marked that off live in the room here, determining that the 75 area, 7580s was, at the time, I'd have to go back to see what day it was, but at the time seemed fairly important. And sure enough, price comes right back down to that area, and at least we get some sort of response. This is why, again, I'm trying to encourage you, everybody. Hopefully you're taking my lead, you know, and my advice in terms of using, you know, this is a rectangle extended. Okay, so it just goes out into the future on the chart, and it's always going to be there. So I like to use the extended rectangle, right? And then because I won't remember what happened back then. So if I see something that's significant, as I deem it significant at the time, I put some sort of a marker, a rectangle, send it out into the future. The ray lines, use that as well, right? That can be very helpful too. Because then later on, as we see today, it's like, oh, price came back down to that level. Well, if I didn't have that level marked off, now granted it was overnight, or very early this morning where it touched it, but you see the usefulness of it. Hopefully you do. Right. All right. Let's see how the market unfolds here.
In early trade, United Natural Foods are up about 4.8% after the Wells Fargo upgrade.
Oh, fuck, that didn't take long. Oh.
All right. No, I understand what you said, Barbara. Number 7. Lucky 7. Okay. All right. So if you're looking for a potential trade opportunity up at the A10 area, 6606
Tasnim, citing
is
sources of knowledge
obviously a
Iran
level
has
that we
officially
would
responded to a US
look at.
15-point proposal. That's Tasnim news agency saying
That's
that Iran has
also up
officially
by
responded
VWAP
to the US 15-point
area.
proposal.
But you do have this high volume node here, so this is where a majority of everything, right, recently has taken place. All right, so that's really our kind of early sandbox area, in this zone here. All right. I try, one of the things I try to continue to impress, is, like, again, just kind of thinking about that rectangle that I drew. Okay. I can assure you 100%, like without a shadow of a doubt, the institutional players, okay, they know all of these levels. All right. They have, memories like elephants.
Oh.
They remember them. Okay. Typically day traders, not saying anybody in our community, but typically day traders have the memory of a gnat. Okay. They don't remember what happened, all right. They're just reactionary, most of them. Okay. Whereas, institutional players, remember, think about the whole idea. They're navigating big monster positions. Okay. Whereas, we're just like speedboats back and forth. And so, when price, when they're trying to accumulate position or distribute a position, right? I mean, they need to know where key levels and zones are. I mean, why? Because they're the ones 99% of the time creating them. Right? We're just going along intraday for the ride, back and forth. But they're the ones, right? So it's really important. I mean, they understand where these levels are, where the values are, where the all that stuff. They're not
I
day
also
traders,
find that
although they
being
push
really
prices around
interesting
like they're
here.
day traders, but really they're trying to move prices around so they can get their business done. It's as simple as that. How do I know that? It's because that's what I did for them.
Except they're kind of holding.
I wasn't trying to compete against them when I was a market maker. I was working with them. And yes, some institution, one institution is buying them, the other one's selling them, and they're all, trying to do the right thing for themselves. So they remember these levels. And if you're not doing your work by marking off levels that appear, that's deemed some significance of activity that have occurred in those areas, you're not disadvantaging them, you're disadvantaging yourself. All right. So I like to always say, think like an institutional account. Yeah, you're trading one contract. Think of it as 100. You're trading 3 or 4 contracts. Think of it as 300 or 400. Right? Think of it big time. It's big time for you. It's small fry for them and everybody else, perhaps, but it's big for you. So think big. When I was again, I'm just waiting for a trade here set up, but while I'm waiting for that, I'm trying to get some thoughts in my head. When I was learning how to trade, when I was learning how to fly, okay, as I was moving along, after I got my private license and I got my instrument license, my instruments, and then I was working on my commercial license. Of course, those are all advanced levels, right? And I'm only going to, basically, my plan was always to just fly privately, not to get paid in any way, as a quote unquote professional, but rather just for myself, my own safety, for my own knowledge, and skills and so forth. But my instructor would always say, regardless of what your plan is for trade, if for flying, I'm thinking trading, for flying, all right, always act and have a mindset as a professional. Because when you're piloting the plane yourself, right, you are in 100% command, piloting command. So you have to be, as professional as could be. So it's really a mindset, what it comes down to. Skill set, absolutely, but also a mindset. So, even though, you may, whether you're trading micros or whatever, it's a big deal for you. All right. Think of it that way, right? You're a professional, act professionally, take professional type trades, right? Don't take willy-nilly trades like you're a freaking gambler. We're speculators. Okay. We're looking for structural trades. We want to be aligned with the dominant force. That's all kind of a professional mindset. If you feel as though you want a revenge trade, is that a professional mindset?
With the Iran comments
After you've taken a loss, you feel like you've been, snookered by the market. Really? The market doesn't give a shit who you are or what you're doing. It's all in your head. So act professionally. Hopefully that makes some sense. I think it does. So my instructor would always say, you're operating the aircraft, you're 100% in command. Well, act that way.
Nothing here going right now.
Be professional about it. So same thing here, I think applies. A lot of parallels to that with trading. Act professionally.
Know what I think I'll do.
Act in your best interest.
Instead.
Okay, that's really kind of even more critical. Act in your best interest.
N12 news correspondent on the reply says, according to the same intelligence source, Iran announced its response that the crimes and terrorism on the part of the enemy must be ended.
All right,
Real
I don't
conditions
want to
must be created so that the war does not happen
overstay
again.
my
Compensation must be made
welcome
for
when it
damages
comes
and
to
losses caused in the Iran war, and this must be clearly guaranteed. War must be ended on all fronts and with
All right, so what do we got? A
resistance
little
groups that
retest
took
down
part in
here
the
at the
campaign throughout the
80s.
region,
Again, was just simply
and
just chopping
emphasized that
around at the
Iran's
moment.
control of the Strait of
Again,
Hormuz is a
getting back
natural
above
legal right to
95,
Iran
get
and
that clear. We'll
remains
go
so.
up to
Along with the
see if they can push up to the
implementation of
6605 area.
and recognized.
Right, that's where our
These conditions of Iran are
810
in
level is.
addition
Looks like
to
I may
the
want to go
demands
there.
presented to the other side in the
See if we
second
can
round
get
of
some sort of
negotiations
response
in
from that
Geneva.
area.
So it's pretty similar from what we've heard from the 5-point plan.
It's fine. 540. Let's see. Calculator, trusty calculator.
Yeah, that lines up with the A10 area pretty well. So worthy of a probe, and we'll see if Mr. Market is good to us.
Did here is that here boy fuck me.
All right, here we are. Let's see how the market responds.
.97.
Welcome back. All right, did not get a trigger on the A10 up here. The market price exceeded the upper edge of the threshold zone. So as such, it invalidates. Welcome back. That was what, 244?
It's just more of the same of what we've heard via Tasnim. Iran tells that US aggression and assassinations must end, seeks guarantees the war
All
will
right.
not be.
So again, what we were talking about was the potential reclaim, right, through the 9095s. That was the brief. So if you were looking for something like that, move through the 9095s, a hold and a push. Again, the sell side here did not trigger. Okay, did not trigger, but we did get a push through up through the 90s. Okay. All what we're trying to do is, outline for you what the potentials are.
Being circulation
Right, where the-
of a Reuters
and
news
then,
story
obviously,
addressing the
your
Yemen
final
Houthis.
decision on how to
They say
handle
they're
that.
ready to join the
Okay,
Iran
so
war if needed.
If you're thinking reclaim,
raising
like I
a
said, if
new
you're
shipping
more of
route.
a play, you're
There's
looking for a
Iran
reclaim.
online Houthi movement, whose
Okay,
attacks on Red
a hold
Sea
and a
caused
reclaim.
international shipping
So
and
they
trade
push
chaos
down
during the
here.
Gaza war, stands ready to strike the key
All
water
right, they
sway
push
again in
down.
solidarity
Again,
with
they held
Tehran,
that
according to
kind of
the
key
Houthi
area,
leaders,
right? And
telling
then the next
Reuters
key area
move
was
that
to
would
get
deepen
where?
global
Above
oil
the
and economic
9095s.
crisis brought on by the Middle
Okay.
East war.
Everybody's
So
following
what
that,
we're gonna
right?
do-
Again, I don't think I need
Think.
to, belabor that.
If
in
they
any
open
way.
a new front in the conflict, one obvious target would be the Bab al-Mandab Strait,
I
or
think they're gonna try
the key shipping choke point.
taking back up, and it's really difficult
All
right
right.
now. Let's see,
Very good.
299.
Novo Nordisk rises 1.2%, erasing 3.2% decline. So just for more context there around the Yemen Houthi Reuters story, that is one of the smaller headline stories posted within the last half hour or so. It's just gaining wider
Hold on,
traction
John.
now.
I'll get back to you on what you're saying. Oh, goodness. Hold on a second. Where are we?
Oh. Oh. Jesus. Jesus. That's it. Here. By 1, 2, 14. 5. Come on. Go.
More from Tasnim, Iran calls US negotiations claim merely deception. That's Tasnim. Iran is calling US negotiation claims merely deception. Senate Majority Leader Thune on the wire saying it's very hard to take Senate recess without DHS funding. That's Thune speaking with Fox News.
Ow, fuck, that hurts. Well, guys, this
We're going to
is
shift here,
this is
obviously, two longs on the dips.
what I'm looking for.
We'll take it from there.
7.5, 2.3, and it's 3. .37. Oh, open range is almost established, and it looks like it's gonna. This looks like it's gonna be a strong open range. So I'm gonna look for a steel higher.
German foreign minister says confident can define joint position with US on Iran. As the German foreign minister, it's important to come to a common position with the US on Iran. It's also important to end the conflict.
QS. QS.
The same comment, once again, just getting highlighted on main wires that Iran formally delivers their response to the US 15-point proposal. Essentially just confirms overnight reporting of the Iranian counter.
All right, back to the 15s here, the prior lows. So, all right, so our line in the sand there was 66s, right? So our dynamic line in the sand that we briefed on.
Open
Mental
range
shares is
is
the lowest
this
since
looks like it's gonna come
1965,
back.
last down 2.6%. Following an announcement that the company, along with Google, lost a US case of
6,600.
social media harm to kids.
All right, cleared now and converted. I'm just following up with posts that I've already talked about. So we have record of it. Everybody understands that, right? This is not a new topic.
Edit.
Alphabet shares fall 1.5%.
Right there. $66.19. 66.19. Get rid of that. 66.19. Here, edit, get out of there. Get.
All right, so I'm just making some notes here. Notes for the folks. Notes for the folks.
Once again, slightly more of the same coming through. Iranian officials to Reuters. Iran's initial response, which was also conveyed to Pakistan, was that the proposal lacks the minimum requirements for success. Once again, it's all in a similar vein to what we've already heard, with a couple of newer comments. They do say, though, that there is still no arrangement for negotiations and no plan for talks appears realistic at this stage. So one of the newest comments there, there's still no plan for negotiations and no plan for talks appearing realistic at this stage. That's a senior Iranian official to Reuters specifically. They add that Turkey and Pakistan are trying to help establish.
All right, pull back to 95 is 810. All right, so 810 at 95
says those involved
would be in play.
Coming up on
in
the
regional
10
with their
o'clock.
foreign counterparts, sharing analysis and coordinating actions over Middle East situation are Britain, Germany, Italy, India, Spain, and Japan. Iranian official says diplomacy has not stopped, and if realism prevails in Washington, a path forward may still be found. As the senior Iranian official, diplomacy has not stopped, and if realism prevails in Washington, a path forward may still be found.
Look at that little snap right off that VWAP. Holy moly. Yeah. Very nice. Actually, what's COF? CONF? What's CONF? Oh, configuration. Yeah, it was a good one. It was decent. Yeah. Really the first deep pullback. That qualified. I did not get it. I was looking elsewhere. So. Yeah, that was that 200 extreme is a qualified trade. Again, I did not get it. I was looking elsewhere, and again, you look.
appears to be working up now.
You got to be like hawking the screens. That one I didn't get.
Just quickly from
but
Semaphore, the US
it was
State
good.
Department has drawn on funds for international disasters and peacekeeping to transfer $1.25 billion of foreign.
They can be
funds for
fast.
peace.
Yeah, they can be. They're not always, but they can be. You know,
3.
I do have I do have something that I am working on in terms of 200 extremes. Okay, for executions. I have a beta running. All right, but it's you know, it's in its early stages. You know, again, when I do stuff, it's 6 months. You know, a lot of times it's like 6 months worth of.
7, 4, 7, 5.
Yeah, so just so for instance, I'll just give you just a quick snapshot of it. Right. So let me just write this up here. So 2. So
3.
so
3. Well, I'm still looking at this, and
all right. So here you go. All right. Oh no, let me just. I don't want to do that. Hold on a second. Let me
it's
just-
trying to get back up.
200 XT.
Trying to sell the whole of this shit. Be in trouble. Oh, there's the
Okay.
4-1.
So a lot of stuff that I'm doing on the side with the other, you know, with the other computer. All right. You can see here, I've isolated on my other screens. Again, I'm running some tests and so forth, but so here's one where everybody see this. All right. Here's one where again, I'm isolating. Right, I'm isolating the 200 extreme.
It's looking like it's going to break out the upside of this open range.
Okay, right am I here?
Certainly trying hard. 7,
Right.
7, 5.
There we go.
In the chip space, Global Foundries files a patent lawsuit versus Tower Semiconductor.
Stand by. Oh, that's weird. Oh, do I have a hand on? Huh. That's strange.
Momentarily, there'll be a link on the board from.
I guess I can't.
Fox
I'm sorry, I
5
can't draw on
Live
this one.
Watch
All right,
hold a
so
cabinet
that's
meeting,
fine.
due to start
So, anyways,
Sunday.
and on one on my testing here, okay, this is what we refer to as a 200 extreme. Okay, so the trend is, you know, directionally up, and then the market makes a deeper pullback, a much deeper pullback than normal, to the 200 extreme level on CCI. And so
as a heads up,
this
there'll be a
here
brief link in the
is
broadcast now as we hand over.
you can see how quickly that reversed, and potentially put us in a positive winning trade there. 200 extremes are not
Player
that
refreshing.
common versus normal
Player refreshing.
discounts and premiums, but they are, when they do
Player
occur,
refresh.
they are, to quote one of our members, killers. All right, they're killers. No, they can be very good trades. Right. All right. Ram was using the term killer there last week. But in any event, yeah, they could be very good trades. So what I'm doing is I'm working on this to turn this into an auto execution, an auto trade. Okay, it's not there yet. I'm not satisfied with it yet, how I want to do it. But anyways, I'm doing a lot of stuff always on the side. Exceptional type trades in a more automated fashion, because they are fast, can be very fast, and
5, 3,
you know,
4.
literally in a blink of an eye. I mean, I turned my head, I was responding to something, and it's gone. Right, so because they're not that common, you know, it's not something you're readily looking for. Even myself, it's not, you know, and I've developed it, and it's not something I'm readily looking at all the time. So it is much more difficult, you know, not you know, versus other things that are more, excuse me, more common. So okay, so that would be very good to notice when they work. They are very, very quick, John.
In one night. I said
they
in
do.
an interview
So
before the
here's
war
what I
that
would
Hezbollah is more
suggest
alive than
to
ever
you.
before, and today the lightning operations
Right.
and the
Here's
continuous
what I would
quality
suggest to you.
strikes that have been